One of the things I absolutely love about our calendar that we keep as a church and as a religious tradition, this liturgical calendar, is that every year in the season of Advent we focus on the same 4 themes, and it's just a wonderful reminder as one year comes to an end and we make plans for the new year to focus on things that matter. And then when it comes to Christmas Eve, we get to participate again in these rituals that bring back so many memories and remind us of those who have come before us, and to give us encouragement about those who are coming behind us. This year, as we celebrated some that we lost and we remember them, and then we bring into the fold and into our family's new life, we know that this is the long journey of faith. And part of the way that we do this is that we rehearse this same script every year. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that there is something so beneficial in religious traditions of rehearsing these scripts every year. But as a pastor, there is one thing that always gives me a little bit of pause, a little bit of caution. And it's that when people become too familiar with the plot, sometimes they miss the point. I'll say that again. Sometimes when people become too familiar with the plot, they can miss the point. Because if I were to ask somebody about the Christmas story, most people, every year we see videos of children who tell the story, sometimes in hilarious ways. Sometimes they add details or new wrinkles that make us laugh. And what we love, when we sit down, some of us as families, part of our tradition is to have this story read by whoever is the presiding elder of that generation. So we know the story well, and most of you could probably tell the story and get the basic plot down. You got a census, so you got Bethlehem, you got an inn, there was no room, you got a manger, you got some angels, you got a young woman with a surprising pregnancy, you got some shepherds, and then later you got some wise men, and you could nail the plot. But I want to make sure you don't miss the point. If I were to ask you what's the point, I hope that somewhere in your explanation would pop up this little phrase, Emmanuel, God is with us. Because my fear is that we get so distracted by the packaging that we forget the product it's delivering. Because let's be honest, the shepherds and the angels and the miracles and the manger and all of that is great, but it's just wrapping. It's not the present, right? That's just the wrapping paper. The gift is that God is with us. Why do I say this? Sometimes when I ask people about God, whether it's the God they believe in or the God they no longer believe in, it sounds an awful lot to me like a big Santa Claus in the sky. Some cosmic character keeping track of who's been naughty and who's been nice, right? And their view of God sounds a lot more like a giant Santa Claus than it does Emmanuel. So I just want to say to you 3 really quick things that I hope that you'll reflect on in the coming days. Santa Claus is wonderful, but not the same as Saint Nick. Saint Nick was a bishop in what is now Turkey who was known for generosity. He gave gold coins to people and gifts to children, and he's the character, the legend that this character we have of Santa Claus is based on. But I just want to say Santa Claus is great, but he's no Saint Nick, right? They're not the same. And I would also add that as great as Santa Claus is, he's not God. If your view of God sounds like a big Santa Claus up in the clouds, I want you to step back for a second and just Hear the story again. Not the plot, the point. God is with us. If you have been taught some view of God who is a disapproving father character, or some cosmic judge, or some Santa Claus character who's keeping track of who's naughty and nice, if your God is high above and far away, I want you to be confronted again by the simple message of Christmas. Emmanuel, God is with us. Whatever else you want to say about God, and you can add big words and theological concepts and try and make God as big and as powerful and maybe even as abstract as you can possibly conceive of. However big you make God, you have to keep in the back of your mind, you've got to be able to squeeze all of that toothpaste down and get it into the tube of that baby Jesus. The Christ child was God incarnate. God to us. God is not some abstract, up there, far away judge only as we conceptualize it. As Christians, we believe that the Christ child means God's one of us. God's not high above looking down on us, disapproving. God draws near to us. God camps with us. That's the incarnation, the embodiment of the divine. The divine took on a body. This is when the light came into the darkness. And it's why on Christmas Eve, we as a church all around the world and all the way back through the centuries celebrate Christmas Eve. It is the Christ child. Don't get distracted by the plot. Make sure to hear the point. God is with us. Not far away, not distant, not judging us. Walking hand in hand, side by side, on this long journey of faith. Emmanuel, God with us.